same email and she
So it was
iPad?
rotator cuff surgery. I tore a couple of tendons.
Like, can I pull up my Teams from our committee meeting and then have the other email?
There's not, I don't have any like glamorous, like, helicopter skiing or anything like that.
Here's our, if I
looks
had
like
this
you're
on
able
one
to
side, can I pull up?
operate.
Yeah, and you can put like your.
I'm doing a lot of things with my left hand. Yes.
Got it down.
I can't draw.
That's good. Like you're not in pain though.
Like move it
No,
over.
it's fully immobilized, and then just my little T-Rex hand here. I can pull.
How
I
long
can't.
will you be in that
iPad's a little
situation?
This is for 6 weeks, and then therapy after that.
How many weeks in are you?
Two.
Open your other thing.
Okay, so 4 more to go.
So
Yes,
good
good.
stuff.
Thank you. Right.
Okay, but now how to
Yeah.
Teams?
yeah. So
If you just want the agenda, I have a printed one here, so we can.
it's really all
I'm just
because
pulling
of
up
leaf blowing.
our HVAC thing and the other
That's really what
That's what tore up the shoulder.
thing.
I think it's the final tear. Okay, so we have a motion, so we'll solve it.
Yes, I saw it, yeah.
We do not have to have any discussion here.
You're leaving?
I told Scott if the chair's empty, he knows where.
Yeah, we'll know where it is.
Why
am I not
I was
so
juggling Al on the way in, he's like,
It is.
we should just put it on the phone. All right, well, I got my report out right now. There's cheering.
Oh, awesome report out.
Best report.
Nice job, thank you. It's all about the
Alan, I
second.
feel like we're supposed to-
Well, I'm afraid is if they're not competitive in the first, the second might be pretty ugly. Yeah.
This.
Oh, Matt's other agenda item, yep. You're gonna.
Yeah, well, is he? Yeah.
That was once,
They have training starting at 7, so they're gonna roll in here right at 7.
Oh,
So they usually are down
He has
there.
the height management in place.
They'll be
Oh.
coming
I
out
mean,
shortly.
he just seems
Okay.
more athletic.
All right.
He's still a
Mike
little.
said if you just
Yeah.
introduce
Yeah.
the other one, and
He's dominating.
they're gonna
He's gotten a lot
talk
better,
about
but
the awards he already
he's still
received,
not that.
and then they're gonna give.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Far better than I.
Hey, Matt.
Great.
We were,
Still, he could,
they,
I mean,
yes.
one of the things they were saying was about the game.
The landscaping guy we picked was Barry,
Last
right?
couple games, it's just
Oh, it's just not in.
competition with
Okay, and then the HVAC guy, we didn't know yet, you guys were,
no, they were doing triples.
Why am I?
They throw the
Okay.
second high end, and that's when it started annoying him. Sure. Give it a yeah, just frustrating. Just
no, I got it, I thought it was in our other one, it's just easier to sometimes find it from the committee meeting, because they're only 5 pages
I
instead of.
know, yeah,
100.
you don't have to scroll. But he always has so many items that can get lost pretty easily. Oh, there was something I was supposed to tell Jim when he got here. Trying to think what it was.
Yeah, did you try out here? I did too.
That's gonna be my next meeting when I finish this.
This is what I was saying, you can't put like page 1, or can you? So you have like the agenda,
Always recruiting, because you're recruiting. Just what you
like
want
the
is
first
the
page
guy who
on
starts at
this,
57.
yeah, like can I put that over there and then have the, you know what I mean, like have the recommendations and, well, it doesn't,
Oh,
the,
I love it when all these.
well, they don't have this bit in here.
really fun.
I gotta pull it from the same email as here, you know what I mean?
You miss a lot.
oh, I see.
Because like at the, okay, I'll do that. Okay.
Right? That's when we first moved out here. I was like, let's give it a swing.
Okay, cool, perfect, then I'll get this to the
Just
HVAC
started.
card.
We're doing that too. First base.
No, I've got that.
We got everybody?
Just arm moving. Keep going. Go a second.
No,
Yep.
it's just, the front end and then this, I just have the, I was just trying to find the HVAC. I knew this one was Barry, and then just trying to find the name of the HVAC guy.
Oh, so you need the actual item from committee.
But it's not in the committee, but he said it's in this one.
Are you guys okay?
Oh, it's in the board.
Yeah, cause see, like, here's our, yes, for sure. It's just
Okay.
the name of it.
All right.
No, I got it.
Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, April 8th, 2024, meeting of the Village of Western Springs Village Board of Trustees to honor our nation's heroes and especially to honor the individuals who serve and protect our community, many of whom are here tonight. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk Timmick, will you please call the roll?
Yes, President Rudolph. Trustee Avakian.
Aye.
Trustee Chen.
Here.
Trustee Fink.
Here.
Trustee Lewis.
Here.
Trustee Naraki.
Here.
Trustee Terrell.
Here.
All present.
Very good. Thank you very much. Well, I understand we have an important recognition tonight, and I'd like to have Chief Kelly. Can you come up? I think I've lost sight of you. There you are. Can you join us up front?
Thank you. President Rudolph and members of the Board of Trustees, Nick, why don't you come on up? I'd like to introduce you to Nick Swalek. Nick is one of our paid-on-call firefighter paramedics. He recently joined our contract as a firefighter paramedic, and Nick is one of our adult leaders of our Explorer program. A little bit of information about our Explorer program. It's a program that's run by the Boy Scouts of America, and it gives teenage boys and girls an exposure to the fire service and emergency medical services, and that they may make that choice someday to make that their career. The Explorers train with our firefighters on a monthly basis, and they also get an opportunity to train down at our State Fire Academy at the Illinois Fire Service Institute. Nick was a member of our Explorer group, and he went through our 2019 Fire Academy to become a paid-on-call member of the department. He followed that up with training as an EMT, and he followed that up with training as a paramedic, so that he is now a firefighter paramedic with our contract provider as well as a paid-on-call member. Nick has been our primary adult leader for our Explorer program, and our program was dwindling in membership. Western Springs has had an Explorer program for quite some time, but as I said, it was dwindling in numbers. Nick, through his dedication and enthusiasm and being a past explorer, went to the schools, other events to try to recruit members to our Explorer group. I'm happy to say that we now have a very strong Explorer group. We have 15 members as part of our Explorers now that train on a monthly basis. Nick was nominated for an award through the Boy Scouts of America for his work with the Explorers and building that group up to where it is now. And I'm proud to announce that Nick was awarded the William H. Spurgeon III Award by the Boy Scouts of America. This is a very prestigious award. I'm sorry, I just got to put my glasses on. And it's the highest recognition for individuals and organizations contributing significant leadership to the Explorer program. So on February 25th, they had a recognition dinner where Nick was awarded this award through the Boy Scouts. We're very proud of that recognition and would also present that to the board as well for recognition. On top of the award that Nick received from the Boy Scouts, we would also like to award Nick with a Department of Fire and EMS Merit Award. And our Merit Awards, let me just read how the qualifications for a Merit Award. A Merit Award is to be presented for outstanding accomplishments that brought credit to the organization, an award given to a department member whose actions exemplify the professional standards of the fire service. And I think Nick, with his work with the Explorers, certainly fits that description. So on top of Nick's award through the Boy Scouts, I would also like to award Nick Swalek a Merit Award from the Department of Fire and EMS for his professionalism and dedication in promoting the Western Springs Fire Explorer Program Post-17. Nick exemplifies our mission of neighbors protecting neighbors by working to expand the Explorer group to support the paid-on-call model of emergency service delivery for the village of Western Springs, and awarded this 8th day of April. So Nick, congratulations. Along with the award is a ribbon pin that you can proudly display on your uniform as well. So Nick, we are very proud of you, and I think you are going to have a very bright future in the fire service. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
say anything?
Just thank you to my family and everyone in the. Thank you to my family and everyone in the Western Springs Fire Department for always supporting me. My mom, Laura, is here, so.
Thank you so much for all that you've done. What an incredible recognition. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, President.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, as many of you know, because you've done this before, you are welcome to leave this time if you would like. Or you can join us for the rest of the meeting. It's up to you, but we'll give you a minute. Thank you for all coming and recognizing.
That's so cute. No problem.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We will now move on to the rest of our agenda. And we'll have citizen comments. Do we have any citizen comments? Okay. If not, we're going to go into the old business on our agenda, the right-of-way sale. And I will, Mr. Swappa or Mr. Griffin, did either of you want to say anything? Okay. All right. Attorney Jurusik.
Yeah, tonight, there are two ordinances on your agenda for action under old business related to the right-of-way sale, 5200 block of Grand. Back in February, when the board approved two ordinances, one for the sale of a portion of that right-of-way to Mr. Coniff and Laura Coniff, the other ordinance, the other portion to Mr. Swappa. The board approved that with certain conditions. And the primary condition was both parties, in order to move forward with the transactions, had to pay within 30 days the purchase price plus all related costs that relate to the transaction, legal fees, staff time, engineering, etc. Mr. Swappa complied with the terms of the ordinance in a timely manner. Mr. Coniff did not. Mr. Coniff did submit a check late, but it was for an amount that didn't equate to the purchase price plus the added costs. It's my understanding that today, Mr. Coniff did deposit a check with the village in the appropriate amount. But again, his check, his first check was deposited late, didn't meet the 30-day deadline despite a couple reminders to get it in on time. And then depositing the check today on April 8th when it was due on March 13th again is, not consistent, not timely with the ordinance. These two items are before you tonight for discussion and action.
And I would like to add that I think despite our more than patient efforts at fairness, that Mr. Coniff did not meet the terms of the agreement, of the agreed ordinance in the specified timeframe. We are a small village. We pride ourselves on collaboration, trying to work with our residents, but also equity. The village staff and the board have all spent considerable time and heard all parties and understood we had reached an agreement and passed the ordinance reflecting that agreement with the dollar amounts and the deadlines being very clear. Unfortunately, our efforts were not matched with equal intentions to resolve the right-of-way. I'm just disappointed to have to bring this up again and to say that the agreement was not honored as we had all expected. And at this point, I recommend that we move forward with the rescindment as described by Attorney Jurusik. I think we have to act in the best interests of, we have to act in the interests of all of the parties involved and all of the residents of Western Springs. Ordinances need to be respected and adhered to by all the parties involved. That's my opinion.
I would like to make a motion for ordinance number 233163, rescinding and repealing of the Board of Trustees approval of ordinance number 233145, authorizing the vacation of the south 15 feet by 187 feet of the 52nd Street right-of-way adjacent to and north of the 5200 Grand Avenue property located in the Forest Hills subdivision, and approving a plat of vacation and reservation of public utility, sidewalk, and stormwater drainage easements relating to said right-of-way vacation. In parentheses, the parishioners were James Coniff and Laura Coniff.
Could you just confirm the ordinances that are in the first two lines? Three
Yes,
lines?
I would like to make a motion for the ordinance 24-3163
Yep.
and 23-3145.
Okay.
Okay, that is Amy's, or trustee Avakian's motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I have to say that we did spend an awful lot of time about this. It's unfortunate to me that this could not be resolved, but we do have the sanctity of the contract and also a precedent for anyone else that comes before the village, that they're going to be treated fairly, and that when we enter into an agreement, that we intend to stand by it in all intents and purposes. I wish it hadn't come to this, but we do have to follow the law and our ordinances as we draft them.
Thank you, trustee Turner. Anybody else? Okay, if not, then Clerk Timick, we have a roll call vote, and I think this is all trustees and myself.
You're included as well, yes. Trustee Chen.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Naraki.
Aye.
Trustee Terrell.
Aye.
Trustee Fink.
Aye.
Trustee Avakian.
Aye.
President Rudolph.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I would also like to make a motion for ordinance number 24-3164, rescinding and repealing of the Board of Trustees' approval of ordinance number 23-3146, authorizing the vacation of the north 12 feet by 187 feet of the 52nd Street right-of-way adjacent to and south of 5140 Grand Avenue property located in the Forest Hills subdivision, and approving a plat of vacation and reservation of public utility, sidewalk, and stormwater drainage easements, and abrogation of an existing sidewalk easement related to said right-of-way vacation. In parentheses, the petitioner there is Ray Swapa.
Okay, is there a second to?
Second.
Okay. I'm guessing no further discussion. May we have a roll call vote?
Absolutely. Trustee Chen.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Naraki.
Aye.
Trustee Terrell.
Aye.
Trustee Fink.
Aye.
Trustee Avakian.
Aye.
President Rudolph.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you very much. Again, sorry that we had to get to this point. All right, let's move on then to new business, and I believe trustee Fink, you have the first item here of new business.
All right, I make a motion to approve the certificate of authority by vote to allow the Village of Western Springs to participate in the solicitation for the CY 2024, CY 2025 joint purchase master contracts for rock salt. So basically, we just, as a group, multiple towns will buy salt together, and this is just authorizing us to buy salt as a group. And it's between 900 and 1,100 tons, and we have to use 80% of that. Director Super, did I summarize that well?
Yeah, just to elaborate a little bit. We did receive this notice from the State of Illinois Department of Transportation. That's who we purchase our salt through last Friday afternoon. We unfortunately were not able to bring this through the standard committee cycle due to that timing. They had notified us as part of the email that came through last Friday that we had to get this approval in by the 21st of this month. Unfortunately, with the timing, with the board meeting and everything else going on, we would not be able to achieve that. So that's why it's on the board's consideration tonight as an item for approval.
Okay, so you made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, anything further? Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, President Rudolph. Trustee Chen.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Naraki.
Aye.
Trustee Terrell.
Aye.
Trustee Avakian.
Aye.
Trustee Fink.
Aye.
President Rudolph.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. All right, very good. Let us now, we're going to move on to the agenda items that are in the workshop portion of our combined meeting tonight, and we'll begin with the Finance Committee. Trustee Chen.
Thank you, Madam President. Two items that we discussed in the Finance Committee. I'll read them from the agenda. The South Tax Increment Financing, TIF Expenditure Design Engineering Burlington Avenue Improvements Project, and the related budget amendment and transfer. We reviewed these two items in Finance last week, and we recommend both of them to the Village Board. We recommend using Downtown South TIF district funds for design engineering of the Burlington Avenue Improvements Project, which you'll hear a lot more from Trustee Fink in his report from Public Works and Water. The total amount of this request for TIF dollars is $89,000. We also reviewed and recommend a budget amendment in the line item design engineering within the Downtown South TIF funds in this amount, $89,000. And that's it. We recommend those to the board. I don't think that there's nothing else unless there's any questions.
No, I think as you say, we'll hear more from
Yes.
Trustee Fink.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
and that will do it?
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Trustee Chen. Let's move to general government. Trustee Terrell.
Thank you. I have a number of items. The first is Daydream Coffee, doing business as the Opry Outdoor Cafe liquor license request. The Opry is a music-themed establishment serving craft beer, wine, and spirits, along with coffee at 4354 Johnson. You might remember the owner, Dan Chauvin, came to us in 2022 and sought an amendment to our liquor code to create a Class O license, which allows the Class O license holder to operate a craft beer, wine, and spirit shop without the requirement of a full on-site kitchen. Mr. Chauvin has been in operation with this Class O license since November of last year. He's now looking to allow outdoor seating and beverage service. The issue, though, is that our Class H license allows restaurants to permit the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages within a village licensed outdoor liquor cafe, while the patrons are served a complete meal by the restaurant. So there's a disconnect between the Class O and the Class H. So the Class H license also allows outdoor liquor consumption, but at full-service meal restaurants. What Mr. Chauvin is proposing is to amend the Class H license to allow the outdoor liquor cafes, those holding Class O licenses, to be eligible to apply for outdoor liquor cafes. Similarly, he's seeking holders of Class Q license, that's wine tasting and retail wine sales by the bottle, to also be eligible for outdoor liquor cafe. He presented to our committee with drawings and diagrams. He was very thorough. He placed 15 outdoor seats. I think that's what he's limited to, 15 outdoor seats because of the restrooms inside. But he's got them tucked away in the corner of his backyard with very reasonable hours, 11 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, no live music, and he also had safeguards monitoring the outdoor consumption of alcohol. We thought very favorably of this request. This then went to the Liquor Commission. They also thought favorably, and now it comes before our board for you to consider whether the holders of Class O and Class Q licenses would be able to apply for a Class H license. Heather, would you want to add anything else to this that I may have missed? I know we were hoping Mr. Chauvin could be here, but he had a family emergency tonight and could not make it. So anything else?
I have nothing else to add, but I can answer any questions that there are from the board.
I think in addition to the outdoor liquor, it's also, I would imagine, to be used for coffee.
Well,
and then
right, I
in the
didn't
morning,
mean
and
to-
then right. No, I mean, we've mostly talked about it from that standpoint, but it'll be a nice additional opportunity, additional space, I think, created for that purpose as well.
Actually, so I know you just went over this, Trustee Terrell, but did we create a new class of liquor license recently so that you don't have to serve food?
Yeah.
And
O.
is this that? Is
The
O?
O.
And so we've already approved it for other businesses.
I don't know if we've approved for other businesses.
Oh,
We do
just-
have the O on the books and the Q as well.
Oh,
so
okay,
they
we
can have-
created them, but we have not.
Right. This is just expanding a patio service for those with the O's and the Q's to allow them to go through the H to do that.
So just to clarify, the O and the Q licenses do have to have packaged food on site, but they do not have to have full kitchens or serve a full meal. But they do have to have some packaged food on site.
Okay. So I'm sorry, and this is the first business that's applying for an O or a Q?
The O classification was created in 2021, and then the Q classification was created shortly after that. So these are our two newest liquor license classifications that were created long after the H was created.
The H, is that another?
That is the outdoor liquor cafe.
CD cafe.
Yeah, the O was the first because Opry O, that's how I remember. He was the first person to come. I don't know about where the Q came from. But
Okay, so the Opry is the first business.
and he did a real nice job of showing to us where it's going to, the outdoor cafe is going to be. It's kind of tucked in the corner.
Yes.
So that I didn't have worry about sound. It's got a brick wall around
Okay.
3/4 of it.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a space back there. Okay, sorry for the clarification, but there's no other businesses in town that are like him, that are just serving packaged food and alcohol? I don't think so.
That's correct.
Okay.
The only other classification is Q, which, if you remember, Aaron Dorner was the applicant on that. He was the Western Springs Wine Shop. He was the only other one that didn't have a kitchen on site, but was still required to have packaged sales. He has not yet opened his doors here at Western Springs.
Okay, great, thank you.
So
Okay.
yeah, so those were the two new businesses, kind of new concepts
Yes.
that we worked to create.
Yeah, I remember creating them, so so now it's happening. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
If there's any other questions about that, then we'll see that at the later monthly meeting. Our second order of business is a request by the Western Springs Business Association for a temporary use permit and special event liquor license. That's Class J. We're going to go through all the classes by the end here. That's for beer and wine sales at the Tower Green and adjacent street rights of way of Hillgrove, Lawn, Grand, and Walnut Streets for the Gathering on the Green, and that's June 21st between 4 and 10. The Jammin' in July, which is July 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st. The Gathering on the Green will be from 4 to 10. The Jammin' in July is 5 to 9. And also for the Winter Wonderland, which is November 30th, December 1st, 12/7, and I believe 12/8. Liquor will only be sold at the December 7th of the Winter Gathering. This has been many years that they've had this. They have an exceptional event with each of these prior occasions. They are very well managed. We saw absolutely no reason not to pass these Class J license requests to the full board on the omnibus vote. Anyone have any questions on that one too? It's fun to think about summer events. Of course, I have Winter Wonderland that brings us back to winter. Similarly, is a request from St. John of the Cross Parish to conduct a raffle at the St. John of the Cross Family Fest 2024, which is scheduled for August of 2024. St. John's is also looking for a waiver of the $25 license fee. St. John's has conducted the raffles in the past with no problems, and we look favorably upon this request. But because St. John's is hoping to start the sales on April 28th of this year, they have two drawings, one in May and the other at the event itself in August. It's a major fundraiser for the parish. Because they're hoping to start on August 28th, we'll be seeking approval for this evening on the omnibus. Any questions about that one? Okay. And the final order of business is a request by staff to revisit the community survey that had been completed in 2014. They are recommending the 2024 survey be conducted through National Research Center at Polco. It's called Polco. It's a community survey for local governments. The survey is scientific, which means they don't go to everyone in the village, but they take a random sample based on demographics, and they collect information from the citizens regarding local government services, community characteristics, and overall quality of life in the village. The survey will be extremely beneficial to village staff about the perception that the villagers have of the village, and also what the villagers think the village might need. We thought very highly of this. Communications Manager Salman Chisek is working with the Polco representative to set up the survey, which will cost us $22,000. We thought it's money very well spent. These surveys are very informative, and I guess we can work off of it with our other surveys and really have a good idea of what the people in the village are hoping that we can produce for them. We thought favorably of that as well. And that's all I would have.
Any other questions or discussion about those other topics? Agree on the survey. I think every 10 years is, it's time to have it be updated and to really get a nice understanding and kind of pulse for the community at this time. So I think that will be, well received and a good investment. All right, let's move on then to our next agenda report out, and that would be from Planning and Zoning. Trustee Naraki.
Thank you, President Rudolph. The first item on the agenda here for Planning and Zoning is the Lyons Township High School District 204 South Campus, 4900 and 4940 Willow Springs Road, amendment to conditional use permit and fence height variation for building addition and renovations to allow cafeteria and educational facilities expansion update. And that update is that at our last workshop meeting on March 11th, 2024, The board reviewed the application from Lyons Township High School for modifications to their conditional use permit related to the renovation. The high school has been working on their plans to screen and address the acoustical impacts of the proposed cooling towers. The high school is still completing their finalization of these plans, and as such, this item will be on the next workshop meeting on May 6th for discussion. Moving on, we have the BB's Donuts at 4471 Lawn Avenue temporary use permit request for outdoor cafe. This is just a cleanup item. It's just an oversight that BB's needs a temporary use permit. The committee reviewed the item and recommended approval and advancement to this meeting. If there are any questions, Heather Vallone, Director of Community Development, is here to provide more information. Any questions for Heather? Okay. If the board is amenable to approving this item, it can be advanced to the April 22nd meeting for action. Our next item is the Property Improvement Grant Program request for 814 Hillgrove property. And this item was reviewed at the last workshop meeting on March 11th. It is on the special meeting portion of the agenda for tonight for action. You guys remember that from our last meeting? Okay, great. And then my next item is the 2024 official zoning map. And that is every year, the village adopts an official zoning map as required by state statute. This map basically stays the same. If there's any questions, again, Director Vallone can provide more detail. Any questions on the zoning map? Okay. Okay. If the board is amenable to approving this item, it can be advanced to the April 22nd meeting for action. And that will conclude my report for tonight.
Thank you for that very efficient report. All right, very good. We will look forward to those on the next omnibus. Okay, moving to Properties and Recreation, Trustee Avakian.
Thank you, President Rudolph. First up on my agenda, the village issued an RFP for an HVAC maintenance. They had 6 bids come in. The best one, or the lowest bidder, I should say, not necessarily the best. I'm sure they're all lovely people, was from YMI Group for $17,995 for 1 year. And I would like to recommend that we advance this bid to the board consideration. Similarly, my next point is that we did the same thing. We had a request an RFP for some landscaping. We had 3 bids come in, and the lowest bidder was Beery Landscaping for $44,020.00 for 1 year. And I would also like to suggest that we advance that to the board consideration.
All right.
Next up, there is an Arbor Day flyer attached into all of your packets. Arbor Day for 2024 is a national tree holiday and a day to educate the public about the importance of trees. Arbor Day honors the vital role trees play in our everyday lives. So if anyone is available to join the Municipal Services Department, we're going to plant a tree at Field Park Elementary School, and that will be April 26th at 11 o'clock.
Very good.
And then, the pollination gardens. So we had a resident come forward, as well as the green team at First Congo Church, and they had proposed these pollination gardens on the, I don't know if you call it the curve or the triangle or whatever, but the village property in between the sidewalks where no one really, it's not in front of anyone's house. It's like the little triangle
A little
corner.
pie there.
A little pie. Parkway area.
Parkway.
Everywhere. Just,
Every
when
corner.
the
Every
sidewalks go
corner,
like this, you have
alright.
that funny kind of no man's land pie shape.
Corners.
So they had, a couple neighbors had done like a test corner where they had found plants, and the greens team can give you a kit and you can have a pollination pie. We were talking about ways that maybe you could adopt your corner to make sure that you're maintaining it, because the village doesn't want to be liable for someone whose, plants go crazy. So it's like plants that are healthy for the environment, help with pollination, and also won't be crazy to maintain. So we had discussed some of that. There were some pictures. They're super cute. And then the village had talked about even potentially doing a couple test ones closer to town, so we could show pictures to people if we decide that we want to go forward with this kind of adoptive pie concept, to kind of beautify everything, help the environment, and that's about it.
This is something that you're testing, but like, what if a resident was interested in that? I live on a corner, Is it something that you're piloting now, and would I contact the village, or?
Well,
would
we're
they
talking about how we
identify
can
it?
get away with it. So similar to
Oh.
like the bib when you do of your
Yeah.
driveway, when you do a heated driveway. You gotta get a permit because that's
Okay.
the right of way area, but you're
Okay.
adding a heated driveway, so it'll kind of be like that. You're gonna be adding landscaping to a village property and trying to kind of figure out how we can do that without legally putting the village in trouble, but also helping the people that wanna have their corner be that way, be it. So we're
It's in the,
looking
like,
for ways to.
initial stages.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And getting some advice from like the garden club,
Okay.
with some specific.
All right, it's in development.
It's in development.
Okay.
Some specific, like height appropriate
Yes.
types of plants,
Okay.
that would be also low maintenance, because we do also kind of run the risk that
Yeah.
if they get neglected, we want things that would be really easy.
The grass doesn't do very well there either, so
Well.
I feel like you live on a corner too.
Correct.
So,
Will the
okay.
village be providing the materials, the individual, the landowners adjacent to the corners, they'd be digging it up and?
But they would be, we were talking about they might be provided like the right, like here's a kit that you should plant that will do well in your corner and not grow crazy.
And there's even ways too that the sod from that corner, I think I'm not speaking out of turn, that we might even in the village be able to reuse the sod, so we could kind of coordinate all the efforts so that the sod gets to be reused elsewhere, and then.
How pretty would be this quite,
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and the two that I saw that were examples that we had pictures of were very cute, makes everything happy, and hopefully we can further the conversation, we have more details, but coming soon.
So, yeah, just wanted to see what you all thought of it, and.
Yeah, anyone have any comments or concerns about moving forward with such a plan?
Nothing like beautifying the neighborhood, right?
Helping the pollinators.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good idea. And then any other business? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. All right, let's move on to public health and safety. Trustee Lewis.
Thank you, President Rudolph. As you all will recall, Western Springs police officers are mandated by state law to begin wearing body-worn cameras no later than January 1st, 2025. The police department and our information technology department have worked together the past several months to research various options and vendors in hopes of ensuring a smooth transition to the new technology next year. That's been going well. But as luck would have it, our 8 squad car cameras are also in need of replacement. The car cameras are no longer supported by the manufacturer, and the software they use is being discontinued. So upon review of various proposals, reference checks, and discussions with other area police departments, staff recommended and our Public Health and Safety Committee agreed that we should go with a company called Axon. Axon is also the current contract holder with Sourcewell, a cooperative purchasing organization used by state and local governments, and we are a member of Sourcewell, so we can therefore use the solicited contract prices. This is not an inexpensive undertaking. The quote for 23 body-worn cameras is $39,412.06 per year. And the quote for the squad car system is $27,611.52 per year. So the annual total cost is $67,023.58. The good news is the contract includes installation, maintenance, software, and hosting of all the data associated with this undertaking. I'll also note that adequate funding is included in the 2024 budget, and that we have also applied for a grant that could cover 1/2 the cost, but we have not yet heard back. So to wrap things up, our committee is recommending the full board approve at our next meeting a 1-year contract with Axon with the ability to renew the contract for 1 more year each of the next 4 years. And happy to answer any questions.
Is that $67,000 per year?
Yes.
The body-worn cameras, they have to be re-upped every year for that amount, that whatever. would
Well,
be
that's our,
1,500.
that's kind of purchasing them over time, and the maintenance and the data collection all, yeah, it adds up.
And we can possibly get a grant for that,
Yes.
possibly. Everybody's got to do these.
We're feeling good about the chances, but we don't know.
Okay.
And moving on, our committee is also recommending the purchase of 4 license plate readers for the village. These cameras are typically mounted on utility poles or signs near high traffic locations, and they alert police when vehicles connected to a crime are traveling through the community. And here's a bit of good news. The police department obtained a $56,375 grant from the Illinois Attorney General's office, the Organized Retail Crime Grant Program. And so that grant is expected to cover the entire cost of the program. So our committee is recommending the full board vote to waive the bidding process and purchase Vigilant LPRs, license plate readers, from Motorola Solutions with a one-time cost not to exceed the $56,375. Vigilant is currently used by Hinsdale, Oak Brook, the Illinois State Police, and they're also the only vendor that provides customer with selected commercial data that's also being collected. So lastly, I'll add that the police department is currently researching possible LPR placement locations in Western Springs. We don't want to overlap with neighboring communities, so we're figuring that out at this point. And any questions related to those? All right, moving on. We also learned that we will be taking another look at the intergovernmental agreement with Lyons Township High School related to the school resource officer at South Campus. As you may recall, we approved the agreement in February. Now, however, the school district is apparently considering some additional changes, so we'll probably be back to talk about that. And lastly, in other business, Chief Kelly let us know the fire department is planning to participate in Lyons Township's summer intern program. The township will pay the intern, but the fire department will supervise the individual and assign tasks. And we need an intergovernmental agreement with Lyons Township to make this happen, and hope to have a copy for your review in the near future. And if there are no questions, that concludes my report.
Okay. Anybody else with any other questions on those items? Some pretty meaty topics there. I think the license plate readers too are something where we continue to cooperate with other kind of neighboring communities, and kind of it's something that we kind of all use to work together. I know too, you had mentioned is it the retail crime? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, maybe. Organized retail theft. That's really been a big piece of kind of the impetus for some of these license plate readers. It's gotten much more, those kind of crimes have gotten much more sophisticated, and again, in our proximity to Oak Brook, this enables us to all work together and to work safely,
Yes.
right, by having that shared communication with those readers, if I understand correctly.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions about those? I mean, it is kind of a new technology that we're introducing into the community, but one that we're joining in with others for kind of overall safety. And I think, good use of technology in fighting crime and some of these especially more and more sophisticated operations. Okay. All right. Very good. Let's move on then. Public Works and Water. Trustee Fink.
All right, thank you very much. So first item is the motor fuel tax maintenance resolution for fiscal year 2024. So Public Works was recommending that we use $305,000 from the MFT program. So we can use that for all roadway things. So that will include patching, sidewalk replacement, and salt. The next item is the motor fuel tax pavement patching program updates and schedule. So Public Works was recommending $150,000 in motor fuel tax for pavement and patching. So in the past, we would use this money to do 2 or 3 blocks at a time. We just there's not that much money available. So instead of doing 2 or 3 blocks at a time, it's going to be, the village kind of went through and found out areas that need patching, and so they're going to cut squares and kind of put hot patch in them. So I wish there was more money to do a complete road, but they're doing what they can. That item went out to bid on April 11th, so hopefully we will bring back a vendor on the next meeting in April. The next item is the Burlington Avenue Improvements Design Engineering Agreement. So this is what Nicole was speaking of before. So in 2025, we're hoping to get a grant that will do Burlington Avenue between Grand and Wolf. So before we get that to redo the road, we're trying to get as much done possible before it happens. So what this construction project is going to be, it's going to be replacing the water main, the service lines that go to all the businesses, create 2 bump outs on the street for outdoor dining into, to take a couple parking spots for that, create a raised crosswalk, demolish the raised planters that are in disrepair, and replace wiring to the street lights on the other side. So the Public Works is recommending Baxter and Woodman Engineering for Phase 1 engineering not to exceed $89,000. Like Trustee Chen said, TIF money will pay for this engineering. Because our hope is the better this engineer can be, the less disruptive it'll be for the local businesses there. The next item is the Commonwealth water main break. So last month there was a water main break on Commonwealth, and normally Public Works would fix the problem, but it was much cheaper, and Public Works didn't have the equipment to get down that deep, so they had to call in a vendor. So we're recommending paying the bill to Calumet City Plumbing for $12,985. And in that's a budget item, so there's $30,000 budgeted for things like this, so there's still some money remaining. The next 2 are proclamations. You guys might not know, but it is National Public Works Week and National Drinking Water Week. So National Public Works Week is May 19th to 25th. And if I read this proclamation, whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life and well-being of the people of the Village of Western Springs, and whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the Village of Western Springs to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public work programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association, be it now. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Western Springs, Cook County, Illinois, acting by and through the Village President, do hereby designate the week May 19th to the 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Week. Further, we urge all citizens to join with the representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. All right, the next proclamation. It is Drinking Water Week, May 5th through 11th, 2024. Whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas drinking water serves as a vital role in daily life, serving an essential purpose in the health, hydration, and hygiene needs for the quality of life our citizens enjoy, and whereas tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy in Western Springs, and whereas the hard work performed by the Municipal Water Division and Public Works team, the entire water sector's engineering, design, capital projects, operators ensuring the safety and quality of drinking water, or a crew maintaining the infrastructure communities rely on to transport high-quality drinking water from its source to consumers' taps, and whereas we are all stewards of water infrastructure upon which current and future generations depend, whereas the citizens of Village of Western Springs are called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, practice water conservation, and get involved with their water by familiarizing themselves with it. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Western Springs, Cook County, Illinois, acting by and through the Village President, do hereby proclaim May 5th through 11th, 2024 as Drinking Water Week. That is the most I've read out loud in years.
We will get those. We'll get those on the omnibus.
The next item is the hotly debated water restriction ordinance. So this is something we were discussing our last meeting, and we just discussed like this is a source of revenue for the village, and there is plenty of water in our wells, so people shouldn't be frightened that there's not water. But it's more about how can we have our the reverse osmosis plant not work as hard, and the more water we use, the more filters we have to use to clean it. So this was our what we discussed at the Public Works meeting and we're recommending tonight. We would like to prohibit sprinkling from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So hopefully that gets around the ideas of anyone can use it at night when it's just not the high volume times, and you don't have to like work on the timers of your sprinklers. And if you're a little kid that wants to play in the sprinkler, you can, because this is more for just watering plants.
And grass.
And grass, yes. Grass more than anything. Any comment?
Everybody okay with that?
So every day from 11 to 5?
Yes.
It was also discussed that that's the high time that when you're watering, it kind of evaporates anyway.
Sure.
So it's better to do it in the morning and the evening,
Oh, yeah.
regardless.
And I think it's also to keep an eye on it and see if it's not working. A couple of years we can adapt.
I think it's a good compromise after everything we discussed, and it's easy to remember. It's every day from 11 to 5. We were worried if we made it odd, even, who knows? So, yeah.
I don't see too many people watering their lawns in the middle of the day anyway. I think maybe they know what you just
Yeah,
understood.
it evaporates, or it also, my understanding too, is like drops of water on your plants act as a magnifying glass and can like burn your plants and your grass. So I think there's all kinds of good reasons for your own property to not water from 11 to 5. And in addition, benefits our overall water system, giving it the chance to recover and replenish and not work as hard.
Did staff think that this might have an impact, or is it such this obvious time that nobody's really using it? Will this not have an impact as far as the water plant?
We, at the committee, we had staff from the Municipal Services Department there, including Ron Darengowski, our water plant superintendent, and of course Director Super. And I believe the intent is good, that it gives our system time to catch up. But Director Super, would you like to make a comment about the having those hours offline?
Sure. Yeah, I think as Trustee Fink and Trustee Avakin kind of alluded to, we'll have to kind of see how this program does actually work and move forward. But I think the goal of what we're trying to accomplish is to encourage, really it's a program of awareness more than anything. I think there are the vast majority of residents who aren't watering or sprinkling during these times, but I think our staff has observed there are some people who are. And so part of this is an education program more than anything. And the way our equipment and the water treatment plant operates, the two highest demand periods that we have during the day really usually are early in the morning when everybody's waking up, doing all of their getting ready for work and school and all that sort of stuff, and then in the evening when everybody comes home. If we can find opportunities where we could allow that time where our equipment can shut down, let everything recover a little bit more, it just gives us more opportunities where we don't have to run the equipment as long to keep the tanks in the system full. There have been periods in the really hot summer where we are running almost 24/7 because everybody's just kind of going full bore, and a lot of people want to keep that lawn green. Part of that awareness program is I think we can get people to understand that the lawn doesn't die in those drought periods; it goes dormant, and there's ways we can kind of further some of the water conservation efforts that we're trying to accomplish.
Great. Well thought out.
All right.
Great.
So our next item is the professional services agreement for water distribution modeling. So the Public Works was recommending approving the contract, the agreement with HR Green for the amount of $54,680. So of this, $55,000 were budgeted. So the capital infrastructure plan recommended a couple follow-up studies to our water system, and these studies will show areas of higher low water pressure, pipe velocities, water flow from fire hydrants, and emergency connections with other towns. But just, again, part of that infrastructure program recommendations. We have a couple updates from the water division. So the water replacement that's been going through, we are recommending to extend the contract with Water Resources for the water meter replacement. By the time it was supposed to be done, they'll have 90% of it completed. But what they're finding is there are different size water meters depending on the water line coming in there, and they don't have enough of the big water meters. And so we're waiting for the company to get the bigger water meters to place on there. So we're just increasing the time on it. It doesn't cost any extra money to do it. There will be a change order because these units cost a little more, but it won't be substantial. It's more about just extending the time of the contract to give them ability to get it done. Any questions? So the other part of this is the lead service line replacement. HR Green has submitted a loan for the amount of $705,000, and that will replace 42 lead service lines this year and phase 2 design of 42 lines in 2025. The next item is the 2024 sidewalk shaving program. Request for bids went out in March, and the Public Works Committee is recommending Murphy Construction at $19.55 per inch foot. And the next item is the 2024 street sweeping bid. So again, the bids went out in March, and we're recommending LRS, who is also our garbage service. They were the sole lowest bidder of Lakeshore Recycling. So it's $7,112.50 per sweep. And if we do 8 sweeps per year, that's $56,900. So of that, we have $55,000 budgeted, so it's a little more budgeted. So we might need a budget amendment at the end of the year. And that is all I have.
Thank you for that comprehensive report. Any other questions for Trustee Peak? Okay. All right, very good. Well, now we are going to move on to, we do have an omnibus vote tonight on a few of the agenda items that we already discussed. The Illinois state statutes allow a municipality to collectively vote on a group of ordinances, resolutions, and other motions such as awards of contract, appointments, etc. This is known as an omnibus vote. All the items contained on the omnibus vote list have been previously discussed by the President and Board of Trustees on at least one occasion and often on several occasions. By placing them on the omnibus vote list, a single vote may be taken to approve them. A trustee may remove any item from the list and have it discussed and voted on separately prior to the omnibus vote. Is there any such request tonight? If not, Trustee Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd move that the following ordinances, resolutions, and motions as contained on the meeting agenda for April 8th, 2024 be adopted and or approved under an omnibus vote. Agenda item number 1, resolution number 24-2788, authorizing the approval of a grant award under the Property Improvement Grant Program to applicant Craig Maudsley, owner of Clarity Physical Therapy and Wellness Center, for reimbursement of a portion of the renovation costs incurred at the 814 Hillgrove Avenue property, and for the appropriation and expenditure of a portion of Downtown North Tax Increment Financing District funds to pay for the grant award. Agenda item number 2, resolution number 24-2789, approving the issuance of a raffle license under Title III, Business Regulations, Chapter 12, Charitable Games, Raffles, Bingo, and Other Games of Chance Regulations, Section 3-12-3, Raffles, of the Western Springs Municipal Code of 1997 as amended for the applicant St. John of the Cross Parish for raffle event on May 19th, 2024 and August 25th, 2024 with a license fee waiver and bond waiver. Agenda item number 3, motion to approve and authorize payment of a Calumet City plumbing invoice in the amount of $12,985.99 for emergency water main repair work at 47th Street and Commonwealth Drive, completed on February 6th, 2024. Agenda item number 4, motion to reject all proposals received on February 8th, 2024 in response to a request for proposals regarding a landscape contract to perform 2024 landscape services for the Village of Western Springs. Agenda item number 5, motion to award the 2024 landscape services contract for the Village of Western Springs to the lowest cost, responsive, and qualified bidder, Berry Landscaping, in the amount of $44,020 for regular maintenance of village properties and right-of-way, that's ROW, as identified in the contract, and a total amount not to exceed $87,975 for all maintenance activities including seasonal planting requests to be requested by the Municipal Services Department and approved by the village manager for work within the Central Business District and village properties. Agenda item number 6, motion to award a contract to sole lowest cost qualified and responsive bidder, Lakeshore Recycling System, for the 2024 street sweeping contract in the amount of $56,900.
Thank you very much. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that motion.
Any other questions? All right, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, President Rudolph. Trustee Avakian.
Aye.
Trustee Chen.
Aye.
Trustee Fink.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Naraki.
Aye.
Trustee Tiro.
Aye.
President Rudolph.
Aye.
The ordinances, resolutions, and motions contained in the agenda of April 8th, 2024 are hereby adopted or approved.
Thank you very much. Moving on to reports. I do not have a report tonight. Village Manager Bear,
No report tonight, thank you.
Village Attorney Jerusik.
No report tonight.
All right, very good. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I would have a motion to adjourn tonight's combined workshop and special meeting of the President and Board of Trustees.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, very good. We are adjourned. Thank you.
20 minutes till 2.
Thank you,
Right.
everybody. Appreciate it.
Go. Boiler up.
Yeah. He's got his Purdue shirt on.